I'm an old Londoner. I was born before the war. Went through the war, house bombed, lost my father, and so I've some really extreme experiences that people today, all you newcomers, have no idea of what life used to be like. One of my main issues, if you like, I represent the Green Seniors. I'm chair of the Green Seniors for the whole country. But one of the major priorities, which absolutely devastates me, is to see the breakup of the NHS. Now, the Green Party are the only party who are determined to reverse this breakup of the NHS. The NHS was started in 1945 when the country was in a dreadful state just after the war. We were in debt to 3 times more than we are now. So I don't want to hear any excuses about no money for the NHS. It's not true. It's just that the money is being badly managed, and you've got all the capitalists, financiers, making a grab for anything they can make profit on from the NHS. You've all seen this latest Pfizer and AstraZeneca takeover. Sorry, I had a senior moment there, forgive me. But so I've lived most of my life in London. I have toured about a bit, been around, so I do have experiences of other countries and their systems. I actually belong to something called Democracy International, which is examining different ways of voting for issues rather than candidates for parties. I'm now retired, and being a bit on the silly side, I suppose, I tried to start 2 businesses which collapsed once the recession came about. Now, I saw red. I could see what was going on, not only with the National Health Service, but all the small businesses, and my little businesses collapsed. And that's what made me start thinking about joining the Greens. I could see that their issues were more something that old Londoners could relate to and look after the people's issues, not a capitalist, profit-making community that's draining the life out of London. Apart from all the financiers, of course, you've seen all the empty tower blocks in the city, all private investors, foreign investors, no intentions of living there, and the same thing is happening in Tower Hamlets. Now let me tell you some other insidious thing that's happening at the moment, which I'm sure Mayor Rahman would be absolutely delighted about. Asda are starting to, a lot of large supermarkets, in order to try and curry favour with the local councils, they are attempting to take in community services in supermarkets. The Asda's down in the Isle of Dogs, the large Asda's down there, have a community officer. Now there's a perfectly delightful community centre by the side, there's a library, and the supermarkets want people to come in and use their premises for community services. Now that's going to delight the councils, because they will now pass their responsibilities over to capitalists again. Now, what a lot of people don't realise is that Asda have put in a bid for planning permission for an enormous block for private investment, foreign private investment, not housing for local people. What was the other thing?
Okay. Yes, so what was I going to think? Running out of ideas here.
If I can just go back on the National Health Service again, this was a service, this is a service, still is a service to some extent, that we were proud of. Americans would give their right arm for our National Health Service. So please vote Green, as we're the only people who are going to protect the NHS. So.